Team, we cannot thank enough our communities for stepping up. The gatherings and the assemblies have been peaceful. People have come together in that moment of space to lean on each other, to support one another, and to really show when our communities get together, really that Minnesota spirit of just strong relationships and support of one another. And so we want to say thank you again. We also want to thank you, the media. You have played such an important role of capturing this moment, of getting information out.
Sir, I'm pressed.
You're under arrest.
For what? I'm pressed.
So we want to thank you for that. We believe that you have also helped to contribute to the peace and safety that Operation Safety Net was built upon. So we want to say thank you very much for that.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Press, 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 press. Yo, we're pressed, we're pressed, we're pressed. We're pressed. I'm pressed, I'm pressed.
He's under arrest.
I'm
You're
pressed.
under arrest.
I'm pressed. Sir, I'm pressed.
You're under arrest.
For what? I'm pressed. I'm pressed.
Watch my back.
I'm not doing anything, I'm pressed.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
It is after identifying myself as pressed, I was taken to the ground once again. So last 2 days in a row I was detained. After I told them I was pressed, they told me my press pass wouldn't save me. While they were taking me down to the ground, they took the mic out of my hands. And after they eventually let us go, I found it in pieces, which gives me the impression that they threw it on the ground.
For all of those, again, who got together and decided to do so peacefully, we thank you. We knew that Minnesota could do this here, and you were a beacon of light to our country and across the globe. So thank you very much.
I want to again say thank you to the community and the people who were out there peacefully protesting. What happened yesterday through the judicial process showed that nobody is above the law. We hold everybody accountable, including the police and other people in public safety. We have a lot more to do with the community, but again, that's why community partnerships, because we understand we need to do better outreach to our community. Our community are the people we're responsible to. And we talk about accountability through the last several days of things that happened, the peace that we had last night from Operation Safety Net. Again, we have to hold other people accountable. We have to hold our community members accountable, elected officials accountable for what they're talking about to keep the peace through the county, through the city, and to the state. We talk about accountability. It happens on us. I'm 100% going to hold all of my staff accountable, as are my other partners. But again, this Operation Safety Net has been very stressful for us. Yesterday, we all got some good news. Hopefully this means we can look to the future, do a better job, and making sure every single person in our county is safe regardless of race, sexual orientation, creed, national place of birth, all that stuff is in Hennepin County. You have my promise. We're going to do a better job serving the people with the utmost respect.
I'm one of the trans people who was arrested in Brooklyn Center on April 13th. In jail, we had to advocate for our rights as trans people, but what that ultimately looked like was targeted degradation, isolation, and dehumanization. Each trans arrestee asked to be housed with other trans folks, but we were told that that was against their policy. And at moments, the officers seemed almost confused about what their own policy even was. We were all confined and isolated in multiple stages at jail. Each of our intake cells had a whiteboard that hung outside of our door and had our name and transgender written below that. Throughout the course of the day, many officers walked through that hall. We were isolated, outed, and were never read our rights. We were subject to officers' executive decisions whether or not they actually followed policy. One of the trans arrestees yelled while passing by us on their way to do fingerprinting, "They are violating our 8th Amendment rights." And it is true. We were subject to cruel and unusual punishment. We were not guaranteed equal protection. I was asked questions about my genitals as if it were a marker of my character and merits as a human. And at one point, an officer shared that, and I quote, Usually trans women and trans men are housed separately because trans women have a tendency to be perverts and trans men have a tendency to be predators. We were placed under protective custody, PC, but it was clear that they were trying to protect cis inmates from us rather than us from them.
I stand before you today in a fortunate posture that the goals of Operation Safety Net were met, which were to make sure that we didn't have massive property destruction and chaos in our streets.
We had 4 injuries, a couple sprained ankles, a projectile thrown at a police, and an eye injury, nothing severe. We had no fatalities last night, and we had no fires and limited amount of behavior. The question was about the use of chemical munitions to disperse the crowd. I get it very clearly. If those things are used indiscriminately without a clear purpose, they irritate the crowd and create the situation to be much more volatile. Then there was a group of about 100 committed people who were wanting to be arrested, and they got their wish. Very clear about the use of these deterrents, to be very clear about the objective, and to make sure that we're striking that proper balance.
God damn, just shot off my fucking foot.
That last night, the protection of life, the protection of property, and the clear, thoughtful use of how these were deployed in a limited manner made sense. But I will certainly be the first to tell you, if they're used indiscriminately or with not judiciously, they simply make the crowd angrier. And so we hear that, but there is a place for them. There is a place to be used.
We just have to go over there, but I also have a large chemical burn right here because they threw a flashbang directly at me while I was wearing like all my medic stuff.
Our community has gone through a lot of trauma, to say the least. And I just pray to God that we can finally, as a community, start to begin to heal. It's vital that all of us begin to heal.
This is not like some ploy to, take control. This is for people that need the space in some form, whether it's via bus line or otherwise. And so, and look, we've been very clear about it, both a phased approach as well as an approach where we're working with.
I'm the gardener. Yes, I am. I built it by my fucking self, by my own hand.
Careful. Be careful. He'll assault you.
Fuck you.
He's assaulted before.
Fuck you. Hey, everybody, come get these flowers back here, please. That's who did it, or I'm going to get myself.